All right, gentlemen, well, that's one for another day. Let's concentrate now on the senior semi-finals. You can see for yourselves Armagh out onto the field. A big welcome for Armagh. Colin O'Rourke, when you were coming in, there was hordes and hordes of Armagh supporters coming down for this match. Presumably a lot of them even without tickets.
Yes, I don't think that all the people that were travelling could possibly have tickets, but for a lot of northern teams, I suppose, this is the way they travel in numbers. Even if they don't have tickets, it's a weekend out in Dublin. Armagh have huge support traditionally anyway. Yeah. It's not as if these are Johnny-come-lately supporters for Armagh. They have supported their teams through all the good times and all the bad times, and of course it has been mainly bad times with Armagh, unless you take the 77 year when they got to the All-Ireland final. But last year they probably had far more supporters in Croke Park than Meath, and I'd say that they will outnumber Kerry very heavily today.
Colin O'Rourke, Kieran McGeeney and his troops there ready for the fray. Interesting difference this year, Pat Spillane. We were talking about this earlier on when Armagh won the Ulster title last year. There was such hype about it. This year it's just they feel a step on the way to something else.
There was. I think you've seen a much more mature approach by the Armagh fellas this year. Last year, having got to the All-Ireland semi-final, I think they became negative and they tried to take on Meath physically, and they lost out in a game which they could have won. And certainly, like I pointed out at the head of the programme, I think this is a better Armagh team than last year, a better forward line, and they certainly have a good chance. But it all boils down to with getting back to Kerry. Kerry have yet to give us 70 minutes. If Kerry can give 70 minutes and play first-time, fast, open, direct football, I don't think they'll be stopped, but that's a big if.
OK, gentlemen, well, it's a lovely day, as you can see for yourselves, at Croke Park on a weekend that's been a little bit messy weather-wise, but the sun is shining on this particular All-Ireland semi-final, which we're looking forward to. So is Martin Carney and our big match commentator, Ger Canning, as Kerry take the field.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Kerry are on their way. Lots and lots of Kerry followers here, but they are absolutely outnumbered by the sheer volume of Armagh support. Everywhere you look round here, you can see Armagh followers, and it's a wonderful atmosphere. The Kerry followers have made a long journey to get up here in support of their team. There was, of course, a stage when I suppose Kerry followers tended to stay behind and wait for the All-Ireland final itself. But the followers who are here are taking absolutely nothing for granted. Well, let's take a check on the team news. We'll start with Kerry, and once again Paudie O'Shea and the Kerry selectors announce an unaltered formation. Seamus Moynihan, hamstring trouble apparently behind him, continues at full back, with Eamon Fitzgerald performing effectively in front of him. It's Dara O'Shea and Donald Daly in midfield, while in the forwards there's a key role today for Liam Hassett on the 40, and the inside men are proven score getters: Mike Frank Russell, Dara O'Kineda and Johnny Crowley, the latter an injury worry for some weeks. And of course the great man himself, Maurice Fitzgerald, is held in reserve. Had a quick little word with Maurice earlier on. He's broken his leg twice in the last 12 to 18 months. He's also come back from a concussion. He got a kick in the head at a club match not all that terribly long ago. So that's the Kerry team, fancied by an awful lot of people to do well here in this semi-final of the Bank of Ireland Championship. We saw Killian Burns there just a moment ago. That's the other number 2, Enda McNulty from Mullaball. Well, Armagh start this afternoon with Diarmuid Marsden once again on the substitutes bench. The McNulty brothers flank Ger Reid in the full back line, with current All-Star Kieran McGeeney at centre-half back. Tony McEntee may not figure in midfield in spite of the number 9 on his back there. He's alongside his twin brother, as you can see. Rather, it may well be Paul McGrain. Colin O'Rourke has been playing some of the best football of his career. Paddy McKeever is looking for a return to last year's wonderful form, while Oisín McConville has, for some time now, been one of the most feared attackers in this level of senior football. So Diarmuid Marsden held in reserve, but lots and lots of options. That is Andrew McCann there, plays for the wonderfully named Tirnanogue Club. Tirnanogue's club grounds, incidentally, are in the shadow of Drumcree Church. It's been in the news more than once in recent years, and it's all to play for here at Croke Park.
The first All-Ireland football final place of the new millennium, right after this commercial break. Controversy at the end of the minor semi-final. What's in store for us in the senior match? That awaits to be seen. Pat Spillane, Johnny Crowley lines out on the Kerry team. You're mildly surprised with that.
I was, because the word from the camp during the week that Johnny wouldn't make it. They gave him every chance. He took a fitness test yesterday and obviously passed it. Obviously there's going to be question marks over it. You know what I mean? You don't know whether this guy's going to last 70 minutes or not. The only, on a good side, I mean, Crowley is a great addition to this attack because he's a great ball winner. He's playing excellently all season, and it means that Morris is now in reserve. And if Kerry are in trouble either at midfield or in the forwards, they have Morris to come on, and he'd provide a big psychological boost, if anything else.
What a man to bring on. Colm O'Rourke, we have to get your prediction on this one.
Well, when I look at football at this level, I usually think that 4 or 5 of the leading players will decide it always. And for me, Kerry have more class in their first 4 or 5 footballers. The likes of Moynihan, Darragh O'Shea, and their whole inside forward line. And Aidan McGarrett has been playing great football. On the Armagh side, you balance that with the likes of Kieran McGeaney and the McEntees and Oisin McConville. But for me, the top Kerry players are better than the top Armagh players. So for me, it has to be a Kerry win.
All right, gentlemen, so the flags wave from the supporters of the two counties then as they're in the parade and heading towards the national anthem. Let's go back again to Martin and to Ger.
Yeah, it's amazing here. The noise level is simply incredible. We've been here for all the major matches this summer, but somehow when the teams went down towards Hill 16, there was an eruption of noise. If fans can win a game, they're getting right behind their two teams. The first of the Bank of Ireland semi-finals. Beautiful afternoon here. A little bit of breeze getting up, as I said, when we came on air just about 1:45. And there's Seamus Moynihan leading the men from Kerry, the Munster champions. Behind him there you saw Declan O'Keefe. Declan's taken his little bag with him, bag of tricks with the towel and the gloves and all the rest of it. And we believe that Kerry did win the toss, but they're going to play from left to right. Well, he had his little bag there a little while ago, and he's thrown it down on the 13-metre line. He knew what he was doing. Some atmosphere, Martin.
Fabulous atmosphere, Ger. I must say, you know, the conditions, as you say, they're perfect, but I've never heard such noise over the last couple of years here in Croke Park. There's a wonderful Armagh following up there in Hill 16, and certainly if the players can respond to the atmosphere, we're certainly in for a rousing contest.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Tony McEntee and Barry O'Hagan have switched positions. O'Hagan has gone onto the 40 there. McGrain, I think, is probably the one who's gone into midfield. Nothing new or peculiar about that. That's been their tactic all along. We got a little shot a little while ago there of the Armagh fullback, Ger Reid. It's his 30th birthday today. But will Kerry upset the party for him? John Bannon, All-Ireland final referee 2 years ago, Munster final referee this year, is in charge. John from County Longford. The semi-final is underway. McEntee trying to take command early on there, but he's beaten for that one by Darragh O'Shea, rated the most prominent, probably the best current midfielder, certainly playing in Munster. Mike Frank Russell looking for the opening score. That's a nice one. Mike Frank laying down the law from an early stage, getting there ahead of Justin McNulty, and it's a good point, and Kerry lead. Well, this is where he took it forward here with great purpose. Got away from everybody. Smashing strike. Kerry outnumbered, as I said earlier, in terms of the support base here. Kick out by Brendan Tierney. Taken back here once again in midfield. This is Noel Kennelly. Suddenly there's a player isolated up in front there. Oh, what a shot! And Darrow Kennedy spoiled by Brendan Tierney, known to his pals as Benny. That was a really good goal chance. Kennedy, who got 2 goals and 5 points in the Munster semi-final against Cork, of course. The goals coming from penalties. A little block here. Darrow Kennedy feeding it through. Crowley, he's taken down. And the referee says that it's got to be a penalty. What an explosive start. It was very close to the large rectangle as he was making his way through that time. Johnny Crowley, the man from Glenflesk, who is a Garda based in Cork. So a penalty. Darrow Kennedy to take it. 2 successfully converted against Cork. Munster semi-final that day down in Killarney. He missed one for an Gaeltacht in a recent club championship match, but he scored a winning goal later on against St. Kieran's. He's got another. 2 minutes gone. What a great start by the Kingdom. And it's 1-1 to no score. Darragh O'Kennedy's 6th goal in the championship came as a result of this foul here by Johnny Crowley, taken down as he was going through, and that was beautifully slotted away, and the goalkeeper misjudged it. Andrew McCann has had his number ticked for the foul that led up to the penalty. It was a beautiful strike, and that's a beautiful fetch in midfield by Darragh O'Shea. What a start.
Fantastic start altogether, and actually Kerry have got the start that possibly Armagh needed if Armagh were to impose their style of play on the game. But there's a potential problem looming already for Armagh in the way O'Kennedy got the first possession so easily on Ger Reid.
Here comes Andrew McCann once again, trying to set up a meaningful attack. They look for the man inside, who is Barry O'Hagan. Foraging hard there was Paul McGrain. Fed through once again towards Oisín McConville. Well, it's a poor kick. And he had a poor semi-final, of course, in last year's championship. He's gone in there to remonstrate with the referee, John Bannon, feeling there was a late foul. Well, this time last year, of course, he had far more serious matters on his mind. His father was very seriously ill. There's John McEntee, there's a block. Comes out towards the other on McGarrett. Kicked inside once again. This is a very pacey inside forward line. Crowley's off once more, and they've got another one. Everyone on the inside forward line has now scored for Kerry. They've made the best possible start. This is a real blitz in the early minutes here from Kerry's point of view. The only good thing from an Armagh point of view is that they have loads and loads of time to make up the deficit. Paudie O'Shea behind the goal. We're still in the 4th minute. Kicked away by Paul McGrain. Chasing after there was Stephen MacDonald. Stephen got a wonderful goal in the Ulster final. There's Oisín McConville.
Whereas the Kerry start has been, so inventive and creative, the Armagh, in contrast, have ballooned 2 very good chances well wide, and they don't seem to have got into the rhythm of the game at all yet.
And of course they did this as well 12 months ago when they were facing Meath. Nicely taken down. They're still going forward. Cut out this time by Enda McNulty. Armagh just needing a score or two to settle themselves down. Kicked across by Eamon Fitzmaurice. Taken in once again by Crowley. Darrow Kineda outside of the boot. Wonderful accuracy. He's got a goal and a point. Man who earns his living as a broadcaster with Radio na Gaeltachta. What a start. 1-3 for Kerry, no score for Armagh. And there's another man whose birthday it is today, Brian Canavan, one of the joint managers, of course, of Armagh, along with Brian McAlinden. Donald Daly was rising up for that in midfield for Kerry. Picking the ball up at the end was Tony McEntee. Free kick taken by Cathal O'Rourke. Outside to the raiding Kieran Hughes. Loves to go forward. Got an excellent goal last year. McConville. Options available. They tried to spread the play rather adventurously. McEntee, however, was denied that time by the fist of Eardal McGarrett. Comes back once again to John McEntee. Inside towards Paddy McKeever. Outside of the boot, and that's the first goal for Armagh. It's taken 7 minutes. McKeever got 4 last year in a wonderful performance against Meath in the semi-final, delighting the Armagh fans, who will now feel they have a little bit of hope. It was fed forward by McEntee, in for McKeever, got away from his man. Tomás O'Shea powerless to deny him.
Indeed, the Armagh approach is much slower and more methodical than Kerry's. Kerry's ability to, to play at speed and their ability, in particular, to isolate their cornermen has been very impressive so far.
Kerry once again, this time it is Liam Hassett. Stopped, however, ball touched, and it's touched on the ground, and it's got to be a free down for Armagh. Well, the wind is interesting this afternoon. It's swirling and it's changing quite a bit as well, blowing towards us right now, if we're to judge by the national flag and the other little flags down there. Not of any great advantage, in other words, to either team. So Barry O'Hagan to kick this one in. Moynihan went for it, left it behind, came back. Stephen MacDonald was trying his luck. Donald Daly back out to help. And that time there's a bit of dragging, and it's going to be a free for Armagh. And Liam Hassett has his number taken by the referee. Not a booking, just a number tick, as it were. Tells me that his brother Kevin and new wife Sandra are watching this match on their honeymoon. Watching right now as Armagh come through, and O'Hagan, that's a goal! Barry O'Hagan. That's a wonderful response by Armagh. O'Hagan's first ever goal in the championship. He's been the story of the year, in Armagh football. Left off the panel 2 years ago, only called back into the squad on the week of the Fermanagh goal, and here he came through onto the pass and into the back of Declan O'Keefe's goal. From inside the goal area, it was difficult for the Kerry goalie. He was powerless. That's 12 goals that Declan O'Keefe has now conceded in just over 16 championship matches. But there was absolutely nothing he could have done about that. The defence absolutely ripped apart. Suddenly, there's only 2 points between the teams.
You must credit the vision there of Stephen MacDonald, the way he was able to give that pass to Barry O'Hagan. Another player would have gone and taken his point, and the execution was beautiful.
Well, Kerry did it all in the opening 5 minutes, built up this huge lead, but now Armagh have clawed their way back into the game. That's Cathal O'Rourke, who's in need of some attention, I'm sure, from the physio, from Dan Turley. But this was the goal that will have delighted all followers up in County Armagh. Fed across beautifully to O'Hagan, bang, back of the net. Well, they're warming up one of their substitutes, Diarmuid Marsden, in fact, I think it is, across on the far side. There he is. Wonderful talent. And what a player to be able to come in off the bench, should he be needed. Marsden from the Clonmacnoise club. Indeed, people from Armagh Harps, Martin McGleenan, for instance, are watching this game in Brisbane today. And lots of other fans everywhere and anywhere as that ball is kicked away. So a free has been awarded. A bit of holding and dragging back. So a chance for Cathal O'Rourke to go forward. He's the one who usually takes them on the right-hand side with his left boot. Oisin McConville takes them on the left with the right. So there's the angle. This to put just 1 point between the teams. Kerry with 31 All-Ireland wins. Armagh, who've never won the title. Will this be their year? Deep intake of breath. He's caught it beautifully. The Drummond T player gets his first point from a free. Armagh fans thrilled. They've made an excellent recovery. 1-3 to 1-2.
It's a wonderful response from a man. Many other teams would have been down and out because of the blitzkrieg that Kerry started with, but it's a credit to their belief, and again the goal has really set the game up, and we've a fabulous game in our hands at the moment.
And if you look at the inside forward line where Armagh are concerned, they've got McConville and McDonnell in there, and they're trying to isolate two of the Kerry backs. Lots of players in midfield. O'Hagan wearing 14, coming forward, fouled, free kick. And the referee wants that taken again. But there are just two inside forwards for Armagh, as Eamon Fitzmaurice has his number taken. Perhaps there'll be more than that. It's a yellow card, in fact. Fitzmaurice from Fanug. Cathal O'Rourke going short this time to John McEntee. Played forward towards Paul McGrain. O'Rourke trying to come through again. He's fouled once more. So a free kick which could level the scores. Concern about the condition of Cathal O'Rourke there on his hands and knees. There he was coming through and he was tripped.
What is a little surprising there actually at the moment is in that a couple of attacks that Armagh have had, Seamus Moynihan of all people seems a little uncomfortable there in the full back line and has given away a foul and seems to be again cajoling and roaring at a lot of other players, and there's a certain degree of unhappiness and unease there in that full back line at the moment.
Of course the point is they'd love to play him out at centre half back. I mean, he started his career as a midfielder back in 1992 against Clare in the Munster final, but they simply don't have a fullback available to them right now of a sufficient calibre, and that's taken down well. That's Dara O'Shea from that free kick by Oisin McConville, and once again a free kick has been awarded, and it's once again to Armagh.
I think that's a very, very harsh decision, because from my viewpoint here anyway, Killian Burns seemed to actually be pushed in the back that time and admittedly touched the ball on the ground then, but I think he was fouled in the first place though, and I think the free kick should have been out.
It's O'Rourke who will take it. Will this be the equaliser? Once again there's booing and there's jeering. There's also lots of support, of course. He's kicked it beautifully. A second pointed free by Cathal O'Rourke. 14 minutes gone and the teams are level. It looked in the opening 5 it was going to be something of a rout, but now it's 1-3 to 1-3. This was a kick here a little while ago which was taken down beautifully by Dara O'Shea.
Again, what is interesting there is there are only 4 players altogether in the Kerry half of the field.
Here comes Tomás O'Shea, one of the stars of an All-Ireland semi-final at under-21 level 2 years ago against Armagh at Parnell Park. They went on to win the All-Ireland that year. Here they come once more. Tom O'Sullivan, and he has wrestled to the ground, but the referee says, I'm giving you an advantage. Johnny Crowley trying to do something with it. Back Garrett getting it back into Mike Frank Russell. Got the first point of the match, and this time he's put it wide. It's just the first wide for Kerry in this game. But so many possibilities when Mike Frank is around and Johnny Crowley and Darragh Kineda. It's an explosive inside forward line if they get decent primary ball.
Yeah, they're going to find it very hard though, because already Armagh are applying this blanket defence system that they have. Everybody's back in their half of the field, and there are only 4 players altogether up in the Kerry half at the moment.
Kerry will have to try and play, I think, a kind of expansive game and keep it wide as much as possible to open up the Armagh backs. Here comes Enda McNulty. Back to his brother Justin, 2 years older. Going after him there was Liam Hassett. They play it a little short, but then work it downfield, intended for Oisin McConville. And his marker for the afternoon would appear to be Seamus Moynihan. Moynihan, the Kerry captain, about to take the free kick. That's a bad one. Hughes across there for it. Down towards Stephen McDonnell. Keeping a little eye on him, however, is Michael McCarthy from Kilcommon. McCarthy playing today in just his 6th championship match. Darragh O'Shea. McCarthy knocking it ahead towards Aidan McGarrett. Andrew McCann after him. Inside towards Darragh Kineda. Ger Reid winning this one. The birthday boy getting it out to Kieran Hughes. Outside towards Barry O'Hagan. Running all over the field. Down towards the 2-man inside forward line. That's well anticipated. That's Seamus Moynihan. Decisive and positive, but he got a belt into the face for his troubles. Tempers rise. He walks away from it, but 1 or 2 other players were shaping up to one another. And the referee calling across Paddy McKeever. McKeever from Ballyhagan. And there's a yellow card for the Armagh number 12. Already a scorer in this game. Playing today in his 11th championship match. Darragh Kineda rising for that. McGrain taking it down for Armagh. The Orchard County trying to work that ball out of defence. But running into difficulty, and in particular Noel Kennelly in there to obstruct their passage.
Again, a little thing off camera at the moment. Tony McEntee started at full forward. The person who's manning the line at the moment alongside Benny Tierney is the same Tony McEntee.
Just seen Paul McGrain go all the way back onto the goal line. Kineda to kick this about 50 metres out. Always going left. Well taken in. Beautifully done by Tony McEntee. Out towards Kieran Hughes. Gathered well. That's kicked ahead there by Fitzmaurice. Final effort is by Aidan McGarrett, and he's put it wide. It's the 2nd wide for Kerry. 2 wides for Armagh as well. But there is the basis of a fascinating contest here. The explosive start by Kerry, the response by Brian Canavan's team. And there's Brian McAlinden to talk about the story of the 2 Brians, joint managers.
Certainly a fabulous game so far, and what's wonderful to watch actually is the way both teams are trying to impose their own style on the game.
Brendan Tierney, known as Benny, in his 27th championship match, kicking this one out. Hughes toe poking it forward. Tony McEntee. And that's going to be a Kerry sideline ball. Eamon Fitzmaurice doing the needful. There's Donald Daly. 2 Armagh players going for the same ball, and fortunately it comes down to Enda McNulty. Kieran Hughes. That's Paddy McKeever. Booted forward. Kerry trying to profit and trying to gain along that left-hand side. It's got to be a free. They've gained that much at least through Noel Kennelly. Johnny Crowley opting to leave this one for Darragh Kineda. Scorer of a penalty goal after just 2 minutes of play. Goal and a point so far in the match for him. This is 45 metres out. And it was going always to the left. Team still level.
I'd wonder about Darragh Conacher taking those kicks. That's the second one from distance he has taken. He hasn't managed to get hold of either one of them. And again, what's unusual is that he's taking both of them from the ground. Most players today that we can see are taking them from their hands.
It was 45 metres out, but he was very, very close to the sideline, which means we're talking essentially about a kick of over 50 metres.
Yeah, you would have thought maybe he'd have given it short that time, looked for a return.
McGrain rising up for this one for Armagh. Kerry get it back. Tom O'Sullivan was over there. Armagh get the free kick. Kieran Hughes wanted to take it quickly, now opting to leave it. It's taken by Tony McEntee, and it's a poor one. This time Seamus Moynihan coming across to take the sideline. Up towards Darragh Conacher. Ger Reid fisting it down. Inevitably the McNultys are in there to help him. Ball goes to ground. It's a foul in any case, and it's going to be a free for Armagh. Taken swiftly. Here's Oisin McConville trying to get away from Seamus Moynihan. Succeeds. The support inside. He's a very pacey player. Great forward talent. He leaves it short, however. Declan O'Keefe with the save, but they're still under pressure. The umpires have a right good look at this one, but it's still in play. Moynihan getting it out towards Eamon Fitzmaurice. There was certainly a scoring chance there. Noel Kennelly shows too much of that. Here comes Paul McGrain for Armagh. They look to finish off this move with something. Instead it falls into the arms of Declan O'Keefe. Twice that ball has fallen short in the last couple of minutes. Aidan McGarrett swinging it up towards Johnny Crowley, fisted away. Darragh Conacher inside towards Mike Frank Russell. Still possibilities here. Kieran McGeeney going out to challenge him. Comes back here towards Liam Hassett. Hassett can't do anything with it, however. Once the ball touches the ground, it's still around, and it's taken away by the Armagh captain Kieran McGeeney. Out towards Andrew McCann. Great noise, great excitement. Teams level. Stephen McDonnell thought about the pass backwards. Instead it's to Oisin McConville, who came together. Inside towards Paddy McKeever. Trying to sell dummies, looking for a second point. Partly blocked. Comes back to Donald Daly. Here's Aidan McGarrett. Darragh O'Shea having a quick little look up to see just who's moving into position. It was Darragh Conacher. Not a good ball, however. He had no chance.
We must pay tribute to the Armagh defending. After a desperate 5 minutes, they have now held Kerry scoreless more or less for the last 20, and they're tackling tenaciously and in numbers every time. And we noticed there that Kieran McGeeney in particular is drifting back and making that extra man.
Yeah, Kerry's last score was in the 6th minute, you know. Here we are now, and it is, what, 23, nearly 24 minutes gone. McCarthy kicking this one out with care to Aidan McGarrett. Straight at Ger Reid. Inside for Paul McGrain. Cathal O'Rourke. Armagh coming to take the lead here. Can they do so? And that's not the best of kicks. He was a sub last year, very disappointed at that stage, but he's made a very good comeback to championship football, Cathal O'Rourke. Well, look who's warming up. The great man himself. Perhaps Kerry feel this is the moment to spring him. The St Mary's man, Maurice Fitzgerald. That's a fine catch. Donald Daly. Kicked ahead by Noel Kennelly. Bad kick. Andrew McCann cutting it out. McEntee belting it forward. Cathal O'Rourke here. Armagh will be much happier with the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this game. Going down for that one is Michael McCarthy. Moynihan outside here for Donald Daly. About 10 minutes to go to half-time. Dropped inside towards Mike Frank Russell, not quite working out, however, taken instead by Enda McNulty. Now Kieran Hughes. Forward for Paddy McKeever. Armagh have the ability to go short when they need to work it out of defence, and then they have also this facility of being able to bang it downfield, but not with the accuracy they desire at this stage. Frank Russell contesting with Enda McNulty. Fed back here. Here's a possibility once more, and there's a Kerry score. Put over the bar there by Frank Russell. He's got his second. He got the game's first. He's got the game's latest. It's a point that Kerry really did need. Liam Hassett was involved in setting it up for him, but this will steady them a little bit better. They must have been rocked by that Armagh comeback.
Very much so, and it's their first score in 20 minutes. And actually, as you said, it's significant to see Maurice Fitzgerald warming up at the moment, and maybe he'll be coming into the half-forward line, which doesn't seem to be actually, apart from McGarrett here down below us, getting into the game as much as they should.
It'll also put the frighteners on some of the other lads and say, come on, we've got to get going, doing the business. Meanwhile, it's John McEntee. Lovely ball, enterprisingly across, but has McConville got enough pace to get it? The idea was good.
Point you made earlier, Ger, is very true, that Armagh seem to have this facility to vary their game. They play the long ball at times, but they're running also from the midfield area directly at the Kerry half-back line, who seem to have difficulty in actually coping with them.
Right now they're having to cope with Kerry taking the ball out of defence. Seamus Moynihan over there. Daly feeding it ahead. They work it to Eabon McGarrett. But again, the Armagh backs group well. This time there's an illegal challenge. The referee has decided it's going to be a free to Kerry, 45 metres out. And he's still there waiting for his chance if he gets the opportunity. The opportunity now presents itself to Dara O'Kineda. A goal and a point so far. He's kicked it to the left. No danger there to the Armagh goal. He's missed a few now.
That's his third one to miss, actually. They all have been from distance, but none of them are actually getting the required height, which is a strange thing for Dara, and I'm surprised that he hasn't taken them from his hands.
So it's going to be Brendan Tierney who will kick this one out. School teacher in Newry. Part of the huge Armagh following there. Upwards of 50,000 people here in Croke Park this afternoon. Don't have an official figure. It's going to be Kieran McGeeney, the captain, who will take it. Kieran is a full-time official with the Irish Sports Council here in Dublin. Plays for Nafiana. This is back towards Cathal O'Rourke. Lots of work for Oisin McConville to try and win the race. In fact, it is Stephen MacDonald who was putting in the challenge, and he's still putting in the challenge, but he's dragging down his opponent. And the foul on Donal Daly results in a Kerry free kick. And for that, MacDonald has his number noted. That's a decent ball inside, fed back out there by Noel Kennelly in the foul by McGeeney.
I think that foul actually looked worse than it was, because I think Michael Frank slipped as McGeeney was coming into him and probably caught him high.
Looks like the two centre-half backs by the end of the half will have yellow cards against their names. Watch for McGeeney, watch for Frank Russell coming through. He was fully committed. But Mike Frank did appear to slip under his body. And that time it's Dara O'Kineda who makes it with this latest free kick. That's a goal and 2 points now for him. Happy fans who've made the huge journey up here from the Kingdom. Well, Armagh now, have not scored for 15 minutes, and that will worry former goalkeeper, now co-manager, Brian McAlinden. Tierney's kick out. One back again by Armagh, but not able to make headway beyond that midfield. Instead there's a foul and Kerry take it back. Daly into the corner this time. Darrow Kineda taking on Joe Reid. Has he the beating of the number 3? Lots of support. Good save. 45. Good piece of goalkeeping by Brendan Tierney to deny Darrow Kineda. That's a 45-metre free. This is where he was taking it in along the baseline here. Reid was after him. There was plenty of other support there as well for the Armagh number 3, but Tierney did the needful.
Yeah, again, notice who is actually giving Reid the support. It was number 9, McEntee, who started off a full forward.
Well, in the past you might have expected Maurice Fitzgerald to be taking these very long-range kicks. Maybe a very slight breeze at this stage just behind him. Again, he's kicked it low and short, but still there's pressure and still there's Crowley around, feeding it outside, and that's Daly to punch it over the crossbar. And Kerry's latest point, scored by their midfielder. He's made it 1-6 to 1-3. Donald Daly's 6th point in championship football. On he came to it here. Johnny Crowley fed it out to him. Good awareness of the possibilities.
All along throughout the Ulster campaign, Armagh had this problem of not putting teams away when they had the advantage, and the same little difficulty is emerging today. They had loads of chances after they drew level with Kerry to build on that, but they haven't done it.
They're 3 points adrift at this stage. Darragh O'Shea dragged down by Paul McGrain. In for Darrow Kineda again. He's popping up everywhere and anywhere, taking the full-back well out of position. Leading him a merry dance, in fact. Darragh O'Shea's kick curls and curls beautifully. That's his first point. Both midfielders have now scored for Kerry, and they've got the last 2 points. And Kerry have opened up a lead here of 4 points. It's 1-7 to 1-3.
Anonymously again for Armagh, Darrow Kineda is starting to cause trouble for Joe Reid, and he's assisted, I think, in 2 of the last 3 scores.
This is where the latest one was built up. That was an impressive kick by O'Shea. Remember, Kerry led by 1-3 to no score. Then it was 1-3 to 1-3. And now Kerry have taken a grip once again. Just about 2 minutes to go to half-time. Injured player is Darragh O'Shea. In fact, it's Daly, the other midfielder, who's gone down injured. And there's a yellow card for Darragh O'Shea. That looks to be Aoife Ní who's in there to attend to the stricken midfielder. Armagh fans, I think in particular, trying to get right behind their team once again. They need scores. It's been a long time since they last managed to raise a white flag, not to mention a green. This was the tussle a little while ago here. Armagh have made 11 scoring chances so far to Kerry's 15. That free kick is taken by John McEntee. Comes back into midfield again. Daly feeding it forward to Darrow Kineda. He fumbles this time when he had opportunities to gather and to create something. Here comes Kieran Hughes. Loves to attack. John McEntee with that left boot, belting it in there into the danger zone. Comes down to McGrain. Here's an opportunity. And that's gone over the bar off Oisin McConville of all people. He had a goal chance. It's his first point of the game, but that lady there realises Armagh should have got goal number 2 for the game. And of all people, it was Oisin McConville who was suddenly in the clear. They don't get too many goal chances better than that one.
It's a bit like, I think, Eugene Clunan's last Sunday. Same situation. Should have been a goal that time, but spooned the ball completely over the bar.
Fed beautifully out to him. He had every opportunity of doing it, but he has to be content with just a point. So yet another free kick. Kieran McGeeney down over the head that time of Stephen McDonnell. back again towards MacDonald. A real hit and hope one this time, always going left. That's 4 wides for Armagh. That's 4 wides as well for Kerry in this match. Declan O'Keefe, a Garda based in Cork City, made his championship debut for Paddy O'Shea in Clonmel against Tipperary about 4 years ago. Michael McCarthy doing the parading against Stephen MacDonald. Everywhere Stephen goes, so does Michael. It's won back by Cathal O'Rourke, bundled up over there, fouled as well. The referee determines. Inside towards Oisin McConville, getting first run on this one against Seamus Moynihan. Played back here towards Barry O'Hagan, and he's got a score. That's a goal and a point now for Barry O'Hagan from the Commonwealth club. And bit by bit, Armagh edge themselves back into this, albeit in injury time. 1-7 to 1-5.
Even though McConville missed a goaling chance a couple of minutes ago, he's causing Seamus Moynihan quite a bit of trouble and is getting on the ball repeatedly in that 2-man full forward line.
There's the final whistle of the first half. An interesting first half it has been, where Armagh fell behind in the opening 5 minutes, concede a goal and 3 points. But the goal scorer Barry O'Hagan brought them back into it with a goal after 8 minutes, and of course the penalty goal after 2 was by Dara O'Kineda of Kerry. Not a lot to choose between them here in Croke Park in the first of the Bank of Ireland semi-finals, and at half-time the scoreline is Kerry 1-7, Armagh 1-5. So let's go down to the sideline and to Marty Morrissey.
Brian McAlinden, a terrible start from your perspective, but a fine fight back.
It's a desperate start, Marty. We got them 1-3 up, but we dug deep and we got in there and we levelled the scores. But really, we're only starting with 15 minutes into the match, and we have done well. But I mean, Kerry forwards are sharper to the ball than our defenders, so that's something we'll have to look at in the dressing room.
Can we anticipate any changes at half-time? Will Dermot Marsden make an appearance?
Well, it's a possibility. We'll have a chat about it inside.
All right, McAlinden, best of luck. Thank you.
Yes, Armagh blitzed in the opening stages of that match. A big comeback by them, but they're still 2 points down. What do the panel think about it? We'll find out after the break. Geaney, their captain, had his name taken, so had Paddy McGeever, and Eamon Fitzmaurice and Dara O'Shea were the 2 players booked for Kerry. Right then, let's go to the panel. Watching that first half with me have been Colm O'Rourke and Pat Spillane. Pat, a quick Kerry point of view, I suppose, first of all. Are you happy with the way the team played?
Well, the start was what we wanted, what Kerry wanted, and they played the style of play that they're best at, opening up the play, moving the ball quick, first time direct ball, forward showed well, turned and took their scores. And then Armagh's tactic, we always knew, where they funnel so many players back behind the ball. They're tremendous in defence, they've closed down the space, and Kerry forwards are not comfortable, and particularly the Kerry half-hour line are having a very poor outing today. So we said at the start of the game it would be very, very close, very tight, and that's the way the game is panning out to be.
Well, certainly the ideal start, Colm O'Rourke for Kerry. The penalty, I suppose, was really what set them up for a nice early score lead. We're going to have a look at this again, because neither of the two of you are quite sure about this.
Well, I was fairly sure about it. I didn't think it was a penalty at all, because I thought the foul took place outside the large square, or the large rectangle. But it comes about from Armagh messing around in defence. There's about 4 or 5 passes. Kieran McGeeney's kick then is blocked down, and John Crowley is going through and is fouled from behind by Andrew McCann. But I think it's fairly clear when you look at it here, he's fouled well outside. He's a couple of metres outside.
You wouldn't have any argument with that, Pat?
No, absolutely not. It was just a beautiful penalty there. Remember Dara O'Kineda kicked the 2 penalties against Cork to the other corner, so it showed great composure and great confidence and great maturity, the guy to switch. But I would agree with Colm, it wasn't a penalty.
Armagh were in big trouble in those early minutes of the game, but the goal that they got then was the one that really brought them back into it.
Yes, I mean, Armagh's tactic of having a 2-man full forward line is causing a lot of trouble. And Seamus Moynihan has gone on Oisin McConville, and Oisin McConville is posing with a lot of problems. That leaves Barry O'Hagan as the loose man, and Michael McCarthy is after picking him up. So all the ball, we see the goal, and the goal came out of, like I said, I think people being unsure who to mark. Now, it was great vision by Stephen McDonald. He picked up the ball, showed great vision. Michael McCarthy went to Stephen McDonald, left Barry O'Hagan on his own, and he stuck it into the corner. Excellent goal. But like I said, any time that ball goes into the Armagh full forward line, there is trouble. Excellent penalty. This guy O'Hagan and McDonald have been great additions to the Armagh forward line this year.
And certainly you would have to admire at that stage, Colin O'Rourke, the way Armagh settled down against sort of a few problems here and there.
Yes, and of course they held Kerry scoreless then for about 20 minutes. But up to the last couple of points that Armagh got there, they had only 1 point from play in the opening half an hour, or opening 32 or 33 minutes of the game. They have a problem scoring. The Kerry inside line look a lot slicker, and I'd say that Paddy O'Shea will be trying to get Darragh Kinnaid in particular out in front of Jerry Eden to take him on instead of running over and back across the field, because every time he goes directly for goal, he's able to beat him.
But at the back, they could have conceded another goal towards the end of the match.
Yes, and this is very bad defending. If you see this ball coming down high, you will see that Seamus Moynihan comes across in the wing and claims it. Now, good backs would fan out and cover, but you can see the whole side of the Kerry defence is completely left exposed, and Oisin McConville is in for a clear shot from about 10 metres out. A couple of Kerry backs jumping, and McConville should have buried that one, really.
I would actually wonder whether that ball was over the bar, because if you can see in that clip, the umpire on the far side, which was on the best side, was actually putting his hands out to signal a wide, and it was the guy in the worst position that signalled the point. It might prove a talking point after, who knows.
Well, whatever about missing the goal, it's hard to see Oisin McConville missing the point from that point-blank range. We take a break. We're back after that with the second half of this match. We await the second half of this All-Ireland semi-final between Armagh and Kerry. Colin O'Rourke, before the match, as you look ahead to the game, you're pondering the might-be's and the might-not-be's at the match. After 35 minutes of football now, how do you feel it's going to go in the second half?
Well, I wouldn't change my mind. I think Kerry will still win the game, because I still think they're the best individual footballers. And I think the longer the game goes on, Armagh are going to have to come out of this defensive mode that they've been operating in, and operating quite successfully for the first half and frustrating a lot of the Kerry attack, and will leave more room for the inside Kerry forward line. That type of defence that Armagh employs is very useful when a team is in front. So if Kerry can keep in front for another 10 or 15 minutes, Armagh are going to have to push out a bit. Kerry will have more room, and I think that the Kerry inside line of attack will all be able to take on and beat their men, because the two McNultys at corner-back are certainly in trouble against the two Kerry corner-forwards.
Let's just go back to a point we were making in the first half there, Pat Spillane, about the goal chance for Oisin McConville. You were doubting whether it was actually over the bar. Another little look at this, perhaps, and see if we can clear it up.
Not quite sure, but like I said, it was kicked at pace. One of the Kerry forwards, or one of the Kerry backs was certainly signalling. But if you watch the umpire on the far side, the guy who was probably in the better position, you can't see it too clearly, he was actually going signalling a wide, and one of the Kerry backs was quite adamant that the ball had gone wide. So it was off the outside of the right foot. You would suggest that he wouldn't miss from there. But we'll just see. It's inconclusive. We're clutching at straws here, but I'm just putting in a little excuse here at the end of the game if Kerry are beaten by a point or the game is a draw.
Well, at least Armagh are 6 points down anyway. You're safe enough at this stage. Is it a day for an individualist like Morris to come on?
Yeah, well, I mean, remember you have two guys on the sideline there, Morris and Diarmuid Marsden, who will both see in the second half and who will both probably have a major impact on deciding the result of this game. Like I said, like Colin pointed out, you know, Kerry's inside forward line have the beating of that full back line. It's a question of getting good quality ball into them, creating the space and taking the scores. And I think, I mean, Darragh O'Shea actually at midfield is quite disappointed, but luckily for Kerry that Donald Daly is on top. And the one point about Armagh, you can see that we saw it there, we've seen it all year in the championship, we saw it for 15 minutes. When they get on top of teams, they don't seem to be able to put them away. They struggled against Derry and struggling here for long spells. But like I said, the game is still wide open.
Down the other side of the field, I mean, there's been so much talk, Colin O'Rourke, about the Kerry defence, that it isn't sort of up to scratch. What have you thought of them in that first half?
Well, I thought that they were reasonably good, but Seamus Moynihan has certainly struggled at full back. Maybe being left with a lot of space marking Oisin McConville certainly doesn't suit him. But yet, the Armagh forwards as individuals are not as impressive as the Kerry forwards. I think that there's more scores from play in that Kerry forward line, and particularly I think there's more chances of goals.
OK, they're ready to go for the second half. John Bannon having a look around him, making sure everything is set. Let's go back again to our commentary team.
We're having a little look around as well, just to see are there any changes whatsoever, but don't see any so far. We're still waiting for the arrival of players such as Maurice Fitzgerald, and of course also the possibility of the great Diarmuid Marsden coming into the action. Two great players indeed. Armagh with Paul McGrain pumping that one in deep, looking for the best possible start to the second half. They're still challenging, they're still looking for scores, and that's kicked over the bar. That's a very good score indeed. Tony McEntee the scorer. Tony from Crossmaglen, back the scene of one of the great triumphs of the year for Crossmaglen Rangers, of course, in the All-Ireland Club Final on St. Patrick's Day. This is where he took command of the situation, onto the right boot, belted it over. Interesting that the twins, Tony kicks with the right, John kicks with the left. Kerry trying to win possession and get things going once again with Aidan McGarrett. A surging run through. Armagh tried to deny him. That's John McEntee. Forward here towards Paddy McKeever, playing very deep. That suits Kerry, looking for their first point of the second half. Brendan Tierney playing down there just in front of Hill 16. When he went back after half-time, he gave them all a little round of applause, as it were. Broken ball here, Stephen McDonnell. Fans of Armagh will remember his great goal in this year's Ulster Championship final. Oh, that's very, very short indeed. McCarthy with the shoulder in the end there, but it's going to be Armagh's sideline ball. Kieran McGeeney was in there. In fact, it's going to be a free instead. So Cathal O'Rourke opted to kick it this time, it seems, from the hands. Michael McCarthy's number was noted by the referee. O'Rourke dropping it well away to the left-hand side. Going back there is Seamus Moynihan. Big one downfield, but McGarrett can't keep it in play, nor can Mike Frank Russell.
During that last little incident down below us here, Liam Hassett was very hesitant in going for the ball, and he's not having a good game at all today.
And he has a big, big role to play. He's up against Kieran McGeeney, of course. So it's going to be yet another free. An advantage of 13 metres has been awarded by the referee John Bannon because of protest by Seamus Moynihan. It means the kick is now on the 20-metre line. So stepping up to take it is Oisin McConville. This to level the match. Breeze is whipping up a little bit, and it's favouring Armagh right now. Nicely done. That's his second point. They're thrilled, and the teams are level for the second time in this All-Ireland semi-final. 1-7 for Armagh, 1-7 for Kerry. Armagh fans hoping and praying that their side will get through for a first All-Ireland final for 23 years. Everybody remembers the great colour they brought here in 1977 when they played Dublin. Armagh fans also remember the result. Fisted back down again by McEntee. Here comes the centre-half back, Eamon Fitzmaurice. Spreading it out for Aidan McGarrett. Challenged the whole time, however. The foul is committed over there by Andrew McCann. Fitzmaurice just feeling his head. He was an injury down a couple of weeks ago after a club match because of hamstring trouble. And the referee has been speaking to Andrew McCann. He's already taken his number, so it has to be a yellow card. Maurice Fitzgerald is in. Big, huge cheer from the enthusiastic Kerry following here. But the great man bearing the number 17 shirt is in place of Liam Hassett, who, as you said a little while ago, Martin, had been having a disappointing afternoon.
Yes, and I think Morris is going directly in, and Kieran McGeeney at centre-half forward.
Kicked in there deep. Dropped by Paul McGrain. Gathered instead by Brendan Tierney. The kick out by Justin McNulty. Taken by Cathal O'Rourke. Trying to make headway. He was fouled. Free kick quickly taken inside towards Barry O'Hagan, the Armagh goal scorer. That's a beautiful ball from McConville. Moynihan's after it, and Moynihan gets a block on it, and he denies it going out for a 45 or even a line ball by chasing after it quickly, showing tremendous anticipation and eagerness. Here's Tom O'Sullivan. Johnny Crowley feeding it back to the left half back. Shoulder coming in, a bit faint, that particular shoulder by John McEntee. Not effective. Kicked across by... Oh, that's gone over by Aidan McGarrett. Croke. The pass was by O'Kineda, and it's McGarrell's first point, but he might have had a goal there. He shakes the head ruefully, but it was Dara O'Kineda who fed it across, and you could be certain he was going for the goal. The cheer now because Diarmuid Marsden is coming in. If Kerry can produce an ace, Armagh will feel that they can produce one also. He's going in and he's replacing Paddy McKeever. It hasn't been a good season for McKeever. He's off. Not enjoying the success of last year. So each side having made what could be a vital change. Here comes Noel Kennelly. Getting away from Kieran Hughes. Still going through this Armagh defence. Good work by Justin McNulty, linking up with Brendan Tierney. Difficult ball for McEntee, but he takes it well. Daly's alongside him. Confirmation of the most recent change. Well, it was intended for Diarmuid Marsden. He never had a hope of getting that one.
Just going back to that score of yeah, that's a fantastic block actually by Seamus Moynihan there, but I think Seamus was lucky to get away with that because he had pulled the jersey of his opponent just immediately before that. But we're just going to talk there about the pass that Darragh Kennedy gave for that score by McGarrell. It was fantastic.
Yes, it was a super ball, but just a point coming from it. Here come Armagh. Paul McGrain. Midfield wearing number 11, inside towards Stephen McDonald, one of the great young talents this year. And that shot has gone to the left, and it's gone wide. Well, in fact, there was a touch. He's happy. He's getting something out of it. He's got a 45 for his team. But he's a very fine young player. In fact, arguably the find of the year. Gives a lot of speed and width to the Armagh forward line. And as you can see from his game, he's absolutely fearless. So this 45 to be taken here by Oisin McConville. 2 points so far, one from play, which might have been a goal, one from a free. Here's where Armagh can draw level once again. McDonald waiting inside. Breeze at this stage behind him. He connects well. Belting it over the crossbar. The team's level. Third time in the match. McConville doing the needful from the 45 free. Their supporters have seen their team come right back into this match. 1-8 to 1-8. But still very early stages in the second half. Declan O'Keefe's kick out, trying to pick out Aidan McGarrell. He drops it down. Kieran Hughes is in after it. Noel Kennelly's after him. Hughes going forward. Lovely ball inside by McDonald to Hughes. Can he get another goal like he did last year? Good shoulder. The attack kept alive. Back towards Oisin McConville. Easy one for Declan O'Keefe. Feeding it out for Donald Daly. Whenever there's a hint of danger, Daly comes from midfield back into his own full back line. There's more danger here. Cathal O'Rourke. Tom O'Sullivan was after him. McGarrett's there as well. Played across towards Kieran McGeeney. 1 against 1 inside. Moynihan doing well this time. And the second time. Played out towards Daly once more. Here comes Tomas O'Shea. And Jareed nursing this one out over the sideline. It's a sideline ball to Armagh. This is the interception just a moments ago here. As we look at the tackle first of all from Seamus Moynihan, and then it was taken away from the incoming forward, who was Kieran Hughes.
Ominously actually for Kerry, when Armagh started running at them this half, they're causing endless trouble for the Kerry defence, and it's been a couple of heroic efforts there by Moynihan that has kept out major scores.
That's a foul by Tomas O'Shea. I think it's what they call a 5-13 in the rule book, where you put the boot in as the other player is going down to take it. You're into a Chinese takeaway and ask for a 5-13, you probably get chow mein. McConville's ready. Movement ahead of him by Marsden, left-hand side. It's still in play. Well, it was up to that point there. Stephen MacDonald protesting. Umpire right alongside. There's not a great deal of space for the umpires to move behind that particular goal nowadays.
Nor is there a lot of space in the middle of the field. Armagh are getting the bodies in there. Kerry are having great difficulty getting the ball up into their inside line.
So we're 11 minutes into the second half. O'Sullivan trying to win this kick out. And there's a bit of jostling and pushing, and it's going to be a free to Armagh. O'Sullivan is penalised, also had his number taken by John Bannon. Cathal O'Rourke about to kick this free. Now, can he put Armagh in front? They've never led in this match. This free is just outside the 45-metre line. These opportunities are absolutely vital. It's going well away to the right. Just miscued there by Cathal O'Rourke. He's got 2 points so far in the game, both of them coming from frees. Paddy O'Shea's team, of course, were favourites, I think, in the minds of many, many people to take this particular scalp of Armagh and go through to the final towards the end of September. But Brian McAlinden behind him and Brian Canavan have other ideas. Kerry get it out once again, this time towards Noel Kennelly. Booted in well. Mike Frank Russell's there, he fists it and he fists it over the bar. That's a third point now for Mike Frank Russell. 4 shots on the target, 3 of them resulting in scores. Good work by Mike Frank Russell, and Kerry steal in front once again. It's the most intriguing match, this one. And just a bit of misjudgment in there by Enda McNulty. Reid was chasing after Mike Frank, but there was no way of stopping him.
I think the sun got in his eyes just at the wrong time, actually. It was a wonderful piece of opportunism with Michael Frank.
Maurice Fitzgerald is out around midfield at the moment. Here comes Killian Burns. That's kicked straight there at Andrew McCann. McCann feeding it forward. Armagh adventurously take it on with Cathal O'Rourke. Inside towards their full forward, but that's very good work by Michael McCarthy. Can't get it up, however. He stumbles, he fumbles. Once again, it's Cathal O'Rourke. A battle to the death, you feel here, between two teams, well primed. A possession just given away there. A sheer pressure play of both teams. Here's an opportunity for Oisin McConville, but he's kicked it well into the canal end. A stand which is still taking shape.
I can't help thinking back actually to last year's All-Ireland semi-final against Meath, when Armagh had this period of ascendancy after half-time and again kicked wide after wide, and they're doing the same today. They should be pressing home their advantage at the moment, because territorially they're having most of the game played in the Kerry half of the field.
McConville has just got 3 points so far from 9 shots on the target. So frustration definitely creeping in where he's concerned. There's John McEntee. Dara O'Shea trying to get in his way, but in doing so he fouls him. McEntee will take it himself. Pumped in deep. It breaks down beautifully. Oh, it was Marsden who was denied. Declan O'Keefe perfectly positioned, but another goal chance for Armagh. They might have had 3 in the bag at this stage. Aidan McGarrett can't take it in. Instead it's the other number 10, Cathal O'Rourke. Who's marking on the far side, you begin to wonder. Stephen MacDonald was just given sufficient latitude, didn't finish all that terribly well. High up into the air, fisted away by Seamus Moynihan. Out to Dara O'Shea. Down towards McGarrett. Joe Reid coming away out from his full-back position. Helped there by Kieran Hughes. Next it's John McEntee. He's got support on the left if he needs it. McCann is available. Here he comes. Andrew McCann from Tiernan. Back towards Stephen MacDonald. They're taking an awful lot of passes. Somebody finally taking responsibility, and it's Tony McEntee and he's hit it badly wide. Armagh still trail by a point. Well, Declan O'Keefe got his positioning absolutely spot on to deny the man coming through, who was Diarmuid Marsden. He was resourceful, he used the legs. Doesn't matter what part of the anatomy you use once you keep it out. And number 21 there is Alan O'Neill. Came in the last couple of matches in the Ulster Championship. But that was a stinging shot by Marsden. And there's Dennis O'Dwyer from Waterville. He's coming onto the field as well, and it's Éadán McGarrett, I think, who's making way. Mike Hassett, it seems, is also being brought in. In fact, he is in. And it's Killian Burns who's got off. So a double substitution there by Kerry. They're not terribly happy. Just a point ahead. There's Mike Hassett who's come in. When Mike's come in, Liam went off a little earlier. 3 substitutions used by the Kingdom so far. Remember, you can use 5 in hurling and football in this championship. Here's Mike Hassett. Johnny Crowley. Well, doing his best to try and keep it in play, but it just ran away from him. It's Armagh sideline ball. Is the game, even though Kerry are winning, beginning to slip from them?
It is, and there's an awful lot of Kerry players who seem to be struggling with the pace of the game. Noel Kennelly is not able to get onto the ball as much as he'd like to, and a lot of the Kerry players are really finding the pace of the game difficult. Moynihan's having a super third quarter, actually.
We thought earlier on he was in difficulty back there against Oisin McConville, but the longer the game has gone on, he's become a star. Daly, huge one down towards Mike Frank Russell. They jostle, they tussle, and the referee has decided that the foul was by Mike Frank Russell, and it's a free out to Armagh. Johnny Crowley wanting a little word there with Justin McNulty. So free to the Ulster champions. And Armagh are bringing in a substitute. That's Alan O'Neill. We saw him preparing a little while ago. Big, strapping lad. Giving the little slip of paper to John Bannon once he catches up with it. Now, have they got 16 players on the field right now? That seems to be the case. The player going off is Stephen MacDonald. Didn't make a great deal of headway in the match. Failed to score. Here comes McGeaney. That's nicely taken by the new man in, Alan O'Neill. Back to John McEntee. Tony McEntee, his twin brother, at the end of this one. Trying to get it onto the right boot. He's got a scoring chance. And again, a fantastic block down by Seamus Moynihan. But they're not out of danger just yet. And that ball is sent over the bar. Paul McGrain, the point scorer. So the teams are level for the 4th time. This is an intriguing All-Ireland football semi-final. High-quality fare. Watch this. First of all, there was a block, brilliantly done, by that magnificent fullback, Seamus Moynihan, the man of the series in Australia in the international last year. But McGrain was on hand. 1-9 to 1-9.
And again, Kerry need to start getting more possession around the middle of the park from Donald Daly and from Darragh Shane. Neither of them are having the games that you would expect from them at this level.
Paulie is worried because Seamus Moynihan seems to have an injury. Now, you recall him coming off in the Munster final against Clare. Then we thought it was a hamstring. Now it seems to be a facial injury. He's really kept them together at the back.
Yes, I'd agree with you completely there, Gerard. They have been overwhelmed in the second half. And again, it's the middle of the park seems to be the problem. What's more, Armagh have changed their tactics somewhat. They're letting in an awful lot of high ball into the forward line. And physically, they've brought in a few bigger players. Alan O'Neill is a big player replacing Stephen MacDonald. But they seem to have too much power, actually, on the field for Kerry at the moment.
So, Brian McAlinden pacing up and down there with P. Shea, as he's known to followers everywhere. Looked like a nosebleed that he sustained there just moments ago, but Seamus Moynihan is okay. Kenneth Dillon is also, I think, about to come into the action. But we'll wait and see about that. Worrying time for the coaches. Only 14 minutes are left. A place in the final at stake as Mike Frank plays it into Crowley. Gets away from his man. Johnny Crowley. He's taken down. Or was he? Comes back to Maurice Fitzgerald. Back out to Kennelly, and it's over the bar. No Kennelly from Listowel Emmett. Fired up. The fans are fired up. And Kerry go back in front once more. I thought there was a penalty there.
Certainly, I'd agree there was a penalty there. Whereas in the first half, I disagree with it, and that he definitely should have had a penalty that time.
Here comes Crowley going around Reid. In came the tackle. That's a definite penalty. The foul by McGeaney. The referee says play on. They got a point out of it. They could have got 3. Kerry take command again. Mike Frank Russell inside towards Johnny Crowley. Ever the danger. Back towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Coming forward with style. And what a goal by Maurice Fitzgerald. That is a magnificent goal. "22 minutes into the second half, Maurice Fitzgerald coming forward menacingly with skill, great awareness, totally in control. The keeper went one way, but the ball went the other. Benny was going left, the ball was going right as Maurice Fitz was coming through. Kerry lead by 2-10 to 1-9. Armagh missed a lot of chances. Kerry defending once again. And that is put well away to the left.
The one forward here on the Kerry team that's been supreme in the second half is Michael Frank Russell over on the far wing, and it was he who engineered that, not alone, as well as the point actually that came before it. He's been wonderful over in McNulty, and McNulty needs to get in touch with him.
When you think about the greatness of DJ Kerry playing hurling and the greatness of Maurice Fitzgerald, Player of the Year in '97 and goal scorer supreme here, 3 years on. Two of the great stars of Gaelic games. That's some way to come back and announce your arrival back into the Croke Park scene, as it were. That's Maurice Fitzgerald's 12th ever goal in championship football, and he's a bit more relieved. Might be led on right now, but I'm sure he is. Still, it's going to be a battle to the finish. 11.5 minutes remain. Drop down, and Maurice Fitzgerald taking it once again. Thought about the quick pass. Reid taking the touchdown there from Justin McNulty to his brother Enda. Back to Reid. Here's Tomas O'Shea judging the bounce of the ball well. Back to Mike Frank Russell. He's been given too much latitude. Dennis O'Dwyer, the sub who came in the second half. Back to Johnny Crowley. Going by John McEntee. Not quite sure if there was a late challenge, but he fumbled in any case. Didn't get anything out of it when there was a point probably there for the taking. Armagh have the free kick. Cathal O'Rourke wants to take it. Up towards Marsden. Tomas O'Shea again. Kerry rampant. Their confidence suddenly high as possible by virtue of that Maurice Fitzgerald goal. Here comes Mike Hassett. Inside to Noel Kennelly, trying to knife his way through. Stopped by Kieran Hughes. Fouled, however, and it's a free in for Kerry.
It's amazing what that goal has done for Kerry. They seem now to have 16 or 17 men on the field. They've been really energised and inspired by it.
We mentioned the penalty incident. They got a point out of that eventually. That might have been a talking point had there been just, say, a point or so between the teams at the end. And then Maurice Fitzgerald simply sailed into the game and sallied past everybody with devastating effect. Kennelly to kick this. It's gone wide. Interesting. He's taking over the free kicking duties from Dara O'Kinada. And of course, they also have the option of Maurice Fitzgerald. So is it to be disappointment for Brendan Tierney and his colleagues for the second year running at the All-Ireland semi-final stage? Not too many Ulster teams have retained their title. Armagh are one, however, in the last 25 years. That's McEntee inside towards Marsden, trying to wriggle his way away from Michael McCarthy. Still it's Diarmuid Marsden. Difficult ball for McConville to take. Oisin McConville going down, foul committed by Tom O'Sullivan. It's a free in for Armagh. Tense faces up there among the stands. But it's a match which has been played in a very good atmosphere. Sure, there's tension about. The prize is great. It's an enormous prize.
Great atmosphere, great tension and great sportsmanship.
They could do with this one. There will still be 8 minutes left. Cathal O'Rourke has got 2 out of 3 frees so far. He's now got 3 out of 4. Huge cheers by the Armagh followers. Well, now there's just that Maurice Fitzgerald goal, as it were, between the teams. Armagh need to get a grip again in midfield, and they need to pump that ball forward. And in McConville and in Diarmuid Marsden, there is the potential to get goals. Ger Reid out there marking Maurice Fitzgerald. Kieran McGeeney rising up for this one. He takes it brilliantly. Fouled. Foul was committed there by Dennis O'Dwyer. Cross towards Diarmuid Marsden. Where he goes, so too goes Michael McCarthy. The Kingdom looking to get back into another All-Ireland final. This is between Enda McNulty and Mike Frank Russell. McNulty linking up with his goalkeeper. 7 minutes left. 1 goal between them. Kieran Hughes. Fisted forward that time by Dara O'Shea. Gathered by Kieran McGeeney. Nice ball ahead. Here's Oisin McConville taking on Moynihan. He needs to do so. He's got to try and get inside him. Kept out there by the number 3. Next it's Barry O'Hagan, their goal scorer from the first half, kicking ambitiously, but he's kicked it wide as well. A goal and a point so far for O'Hagan, but that's a chance they needed to put away. Well, Kerry about to make another change. It's going to be Enda Galvin who will come in. And he's gone in for Noel Kennelly. There he is. So that is now, I think it's 4 changes in all that Kerry are forced to make.
Yes, and significantly, actually, all their half-forward line has been replaced.
That's stunning, really, when you think about it. Here come Armagh again. McCann. Back there is Darragh O'Cinneide. But cool as you like, it's Michael McCarthy. O'Cinneide kicking it. Down intended there for Enda Galvin. Beaten for it. McGeeney. Here comes John McEntee. And this time it drops short to goalkeeper Declan O'Keefe. Here comes Darragh O'Cinneide. Kerry are being put to the pin of their collar to see off this Armagh challenge. Mike Hassett down for Mike Frank Russell. Good defending by Enda McNulty. At least he keeps him at bay, and the ball is touched on the ground, and it's a free to Armagh. Sure, Mike Frank Russell realises it's Ger Reid's birthday and should just say happy birthday. 5 minutes to go. Oh, Maurice Fitz has got the message. 30 today. Ger Reid, that is. Still a scramble, and the referee blowing it up in there. John Bannon just waiting, telling Cathal O'Rourke to hold it for a moment. Attention may be required. That's Darragh O'Shea who's down there injured. This is what happened just a moment ago there. Some scramble. It's going to be a free into Armagh. The Armagh fans willing their team to draw even closer. And that's a bad kick by Cathal O'Rourke. They've more or less kicked it away out there. It's gone out of play, but the linesman on this near side was waving his flag, but I think it's going to be a kick out.
That's a huge waste of possession, because you could see the Armagh big men getting around the edge of the square that time, expecting the high ball to come in on top of them, and to kick it out near to the corner flag was an awful waste.
You wonder at what state of fitness Diarmuid Marsden is in. We've seen very little of him since coming off the bench.
Yes, they've gone back to the two-man full forward line now.
This is one here by Tomás O'Shea. McEntee's in with the challenge. Cathal O'Rourke is there. McGeeney's there as well. In the end, O'Shea is deemed to have held onto the ball too long, and it's another free to Armagh. They're running out of time. Only about 3 minutes to go. McEntee. They've got to go for the big score. Marsden has kicked it and kicked it wide. They needed a goal there.
Well, they certainly needed a score there, because at the moment they have got again the run on the Kerry back line, and they should be putting away some of those chances.
That's nice hair in there, isn't it? Yeah, the frustration of being a joint manager. Armagh with 8 wides, you know, in the second half. Very, very frustrating. And 12 overall in the match to date. Lots to consider, lots to talk about. Many, many talking points. And Armagh fans will wonder, have they kicked the game away, as it were? Kerry will be delighted with the form of Seamus Moynihan in defence, and the way in which they were able to bring in Maurice Fitzgerald to score a gem of a goal. Is it to be Kerry's day? That's beautifully taken there by Donald Daly. He threw the ball.
Oh, I think that's a very harsh decision, actually. That was a clear punch pass, actually. It's a very, very harsh decision.
The referee was behind him at the time, but here comes Oisin McConville. What will happen? He's kicked it, but he's put the ball inexplicably wide. He's had a total of 8 shots on the target, or 10 shots on the target so far. He's got 3 points, 2 of them from frees, and this was the 10th. That's an awful miss.
Yes, that miss by McConville there now, and by Marsden a couple of moments ago, had they been scored to be within a point of Kerry.
Our computer is throwing up some interesting statistics about the scoring chances. 32 so far for Armagh, 21 for Kerry. Armagh come again. Played in here towards McConville. Will somebody yet be the hero? Like Diarmuid Marsden. Played back in here, and McCann, he scored! Andrew McCann, amazing, they are level. Is it to be a second day out for both of these teams? Andrew McCann has made himself the hero, fed in by Marsden, played beautifully into the square, and McCann beat the goalkeeper in the last minute of the match. It's 2-10 to 2-10, and all of that down to the left half back from Tiernan Og. There's another free kick. We were watching the reprise of that. I didn't see what happened. The teams are level for the 5th time. Exultant Armagh followers. 2-10. Is there a winner now in injury time? Beautifully in. They've got players over. Here comes Kieran Hughes, a goal scorer last year. Can't get the shot in. Held up by the Kerry defence. Kerry looked like they were through to the decider. It comes back towards Cathal O'Rourke. It's played in towards Oisin McConville. trying to go through. Anything will do from an Armagh perspective. Back it comes once again, and it's over the bar. The captain, Kieran McGeady, has scored. Armagh lead. The match is in injury time. Armagh are in front for the first time in this game. This is an amazing comeback. McConville playing it outside to Kieran McGeady, and the captain puts it over the bar. Kerry are coming back, however. 71 minutes played. Does either side deserve to lose this? Here comes Maurice Fitzgerald. Kerry now look for something. A point or a free kick, perhaps. Armagh trying to be disciplined. Still Maurice Fitzgerald. The referee still playing time. A fascinating semi-final. The entire Armagh backline in there to deny Maurice Fitzgerald. The whistle has gone, and it's going to be a free out. What a match. What a fantastic sport. No wonder we all look forward to Sunday afternoons, Sunday after Sunday. They're ready to come on, to rejoice with the rest of the Armagh team. Only one ahead. 2 minutes of injury time has been played. Tierney's kick. We wait for the referee's whistle. Still no whistle. That's won there by the substitute, Alan O'Neill. Here comes John McEntee. Back to McCann, the goal scorer. Here comes Barry O'Hagan. That's a tame enough one. It gives a chance for Kerry to counter-attack. The referee has looked at his watch. Only he knows how many seconds remain. Perhaps one last chance for the Kingdom. Inside towards Darragh O'Kinada. And that's going to be a free in. He's fouled, or is it?
Yes, it's a free in, all right, but again, I think quite a lucky free indeed.
Well, Darragh O'Kinada might make himself a hero yet. He may not take the free. Look at the groans on the faces. Wonderful expressions. The excitement. But the referee is deep into injury time. Nearly 3 minutes have gone.
To see who's going to step up and take...
Service called for here. The most dramatic of conclusions. Will he point it? Will it go to a replay? Armagh thought they had it won. This is the angle confronting Maurice Fitzgerald. He's put it up and he's put it over the bar, and the teams are level. The sixth time the teams have been level. Maurice Fitzgerald with a goal and a point. And now surely there can be very, very little left. 2-11 to 2-11. What a second half. Absolutely crestfallen, that poor man there supporting Armagh, and those subs over there on the far side. 4 minutes of injury time gone. How much more is the referee going to allow? There won't be a winner here today. The Armagh fans, I think, are very unhappy with the amount of injury time played, but only the referee knows, because he stops the watch for the injuries and so on, and there were stoppages during the second half. He was perfectly justified, and Maurice Fitzgerald rescued Kerry in the end from a really very tight situation after Andrew McCann had scored a goal after 69 minutes. The Armagh fans, I think, just look at them. They look like they've lost the game. They'll be back again. There's to be a replay in the first, the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland football semi-finals. Off they go, but they'll have to do it all again.
In actual fact, that the game was gone from us, because Armagh got the goal at the right time from a point of view of spirit and all of that, and they did have an opportunity, I felt, to put it beyond doubt. You know, they brought the ball down, they played a very, very good short game, played possession. Unfortunately, it broke down. We got the ball up the field and we won a free. From our point of view, we're quite happy. Armagh played fabulous football today, and I suppose at the end of the day, well, we're certainly delighted with the draw anyhow.
I'm sure you thought you had it when Maurice Fitzgerald got the goal.
No, I didn't really. I didn't really because for some reason or other, you know, we kicked off today with 6 points ahead. We started very well. Armagh came back at us. And you know, we weren't at all sure all through the game. The fabulous team. I think now people realise the true worth of this Armagh team. But hopefully we'll be up for it the next day.
Absolutely. Brian McAlinden, your thoughts?
Right, let's have a look at the statistics from that game and see how they ended up. The score ended up all square, 2-11 to 2-11. There was a total of 45 frees in the course of the match, so a scrappy enough game, I suppose. A lot of wides by Armagh compared to Kerry, and most of those wides coming in the second half, where Armagh perhaps should have pushed home a bit of an advantage. 5 yellow cards and no red cards concluded the stats. Now, watching the match with me here in studio, we've had Colm O'Rourke, and we've just scraped Pat Spillane up off the ground. Pat, you were a seriously worried man towards the end of that match, and rightly so.
Oh, that was heart-stopping stuff from a Kerry point of view. I mean, you had tremendous excitement, you had tremendous drama, you had a scrappy match, you had a poor game of football. From a Kerry, I think, as Paddy said, I think Kerry will be damn lucky to have escaped out of it. I suppose they were damn lucky to wherever the 4 minutes of injury time came from, but I think it was a case of referee John Bannon balancing the act a bit, because I think, and I'm going on my usual rant as well, but I think the guy had a very, very, very poor game, and I thought he was exceptionally harsh on Kerry today. He gave a total of 31 frees to Armagh, 14 or something to Kerry. That's a ratio of over 2 to 1. And Kerry weren't those major culprits. Gave a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty in the first half, and totally disregarded an obvious penalty by John Crowley in the second half. A tremendous goal by Maurice Fitzgerald. So tremendous character shown by both sides. And this is the first time that this Kerry side have been involved in a close match. And there was always a question mark about how would they, close, tight match, would they be able for it? They showed today they were able for it. I'm glad we're getting an opportunity of getting a replay and perhaps seeing maybe a more open game of football. Same problems as usual by Armagh. Tremendous defence, but they clog it up a little bit too negative still. But still the same old failing of having loads and loads of possession, kicking 9 wides and missing many more scoring chances. But a draw, fair result in what, like I said, was a poor, scrappy enough encounter.
Yeah, Colm, you have to give credit, I suppose, to both sides for the way that they showed an awful lot of courage, because both sides had to kind of drag this one out of the depths. And especially after Maurice Fitz's goal, I thought Armagh were gone.
Yeah, it looked like that. And actually, I made a note. There was a free after that Noel Kennelly kicked wide, which I thought maybe would have put Kerry 5 points up. But great players shine in tight games. And here, I'd say all of Kerry were hoping that Maurice would go for a point. Instead of that, he comes inside and buries it with his left foot. Like, Kerry were a point up at the time. 2 points would have given them that good cushion, 14 minutes to go. But instead of that, he had nothing on his mind, only a goal. And when you consider the substitution of Maurice Fitzgerald and the substitution of Diarmuid Marsden on the Armagh side, like, Maurice Fitzgerald won't be a sub again.
Yes.
And as well as that, the character that he showed, and other people would use another word for it, but that last free, Darragh Kinnear was the free taker. Maurice Fitzgerald put it down and kicked it over the bar. Now, I don't think we'll ever see Maurice Fitzgerald sitting on the bench again, because he was better than the entire Kerry forward line, with the exception of Mike Frank Russell.
Well, this is the Maurice Fitzgerald that we know so well. Pat, again towards the end of the match, Armagh needed a goal, in fairness. They needed a goal, and they got it.
Yeah, and having missed so many chances, you know, you'd have said you couldn't have seen the likelihood of a goal. But this was naive defending by Kerry, you know. A goal up, the one thing any defence should do this day is foul the goddamn forwards, because the very worst that's going to happen out of a point. So it was naive defending. Shouldn't, with so many bodies back there, you shouldn't be allowing a guy a free kick. In fairness to Andrew McCann, this is one strong point of this Armagh half-back line. They're great at coming forward and scoring, and he took his chance well low under Declan O'Keefe, no chance. But like I said, a cuter, this is the one thing I always say about the Kerry backline. They're nice footballers, and you know, they're lacking that little bit of steel and determination that was provided by Breen and Flaherty 3 years ago. They're nice footballers who allow the opposition play. A more cynical defence would have stopped that attack much further out. But credit Armagh for their battling qualities.
If you look at the defending there, and I don't know whether we could see it again, but you will see that Dennis O'Dwyer was standing right in front of McCann when he got the ball, and McCann just walked past
Excuse me, yeah.
It was dreadful stuff from his point of view altogether, because at that stage Kerry had the game in safekeeping. All they had to do was flood back in defence. And in fairness to Armagh, they never give up.
No, they certainly did not.
And it looked as if they were really battering their head against a stone wall, because nothing was happening for them. But they kept it up, and eventually they got something out of it, and deservedly so, because like for the second half of that game, in terms of possession, they were far, far hungrier than Kerry.
Well, I suppose at the end of it all, both sides had heroes and both sides will have players that the fans will feel pulled it out for them. What about the man of the match, though? Well, we've had our thoughts and opinions. Let's go back again to Croke Park to confirm who's got the award this week.
Thanks, Michael. Yes, we're there.
Very, very difficult. I thought on Armagh, McGeaney in the second half, coming up towards the end in particular, was wonderful. On the Kerry team, Seamus Moynihan gave one of the greatest displays of full-backs I've ever seen in the third quarter. But throughout the game, for me, the player with the most menace and who posed a danger all the time to Armagh was Michael Frank Russell. He was imaginative, he was inventive, he got wonderful scores, he created other scores. And for me, he was the deserving recipient of the man of the match today.
He's very incisive and he takes up very, very good positions for a young player.
For a young player, but his movement over and back the field, his ability to break at the right time to receive the ball, it's a joy to watch. And anybody who's coaching corner forwards should look no further than Michael Frank Russell and, show exactly what he does to young players. He was wonderful, I thought, throughout.
So he just shades it over Seamus Moynihan.
Certainly, because again, Moynihan was good as well, but he just about shades it.
OK, that's our decision here from Croke Park. You may not agree, but at least we made a decision. It is Mike Frank Russell who is our man of the match.
All right, no, we do agree. I think the panel would agree with that.
No doubt about it. 70 minutes, he was brilliant from start to finish. A tremendous display forward, showed well for the ball, took some lovely scores. Seamus Moynihan, like I said, an absolutely fantastic second half. But I wouldn't disagree with Martin this week. No, excellent choice.
OK, gentlemen, now, there was some end to that game, but there was also a controversial end in the minor semi-final earlier in the day. Now, Cork won that by a point against Derry, but the Cork midfielder Kieran Murphy was carded twice during the match, so in fact, Derry should have been playing against 14 men. Well, afterwards, Marty Morrissey spoke to the Derry mentors Chris Brown, the manager that was, and to Paddy Crozier.
Brown, your reaction to what happened during the minor match where it appears a Cork player got 2 yellow cards?
Well, I actually haven't seen the reprise of it, Marty. The controversy seems to be that there was no question about it. The Cork's number 9, most influential player would have to add, a thorn in Derry's side, definitely got a yellow card in the first half. A hand chip in the second half, and our number 11, Jim Kelly, free in. To my way of thinking in the rule book, it's an automatic yellow card.